Okay, guys, welcome to Football Files. This is your boy Prof. I'll be bringing you obviously the latest news that we've just received or that I've just seen on the news lately. We've seen that Arsenal, there's rumors that Arsenal have made a move for Malang Sarr, the former Nice centre back. I say former because the 21-year-old has recently run out of contract at the French side, so he's a free agent, free to sign. Good centre back. I'll have to admit as well, I haven't watched a lot of the boy, but from what I've seen, he's a really good centre back. He's good in terms of playing out from the back. He's quick. He's strong. He's left-footed. He can play either right or left centre back. But more importantly, as well, he's also versatile enough to play at left back, and he's quick. Obviously, Arsenal are being linked to Malang Sarr, and you can kind of understand why. Arsenal do need a centre back. They've got obviously David Luiz. He's not a mistake in him. Mustafi, I mean, he has improved since Arteta came into the club. You have, who else do you have at Arsenal? Rob Holding, injury problems. They've got quite a few centre backs. Socrates as well, obviously, but he hasn't played a lot recently. Didn't play the last game against who's Arsenal's game against? But yeah, he didn't play the last game against Wolves. He didn't play the game against Wolves. He didn't play in the loss against in the draw against Leicester. So I think they do need a centre back. They've obviously signed David Luiz. They've extended his contract, but I do feel they desperately need a new centre back. You also have to remember Arsenal. Obviously, Arteta has come out and said they won't be able to do everything they want to do in the transfer window. A free transfer, a free agent in such a difficult transfer window as well, especially when you consider the virus that has hit the world, basically. This would be, for me, one of the signings of the seasons because I think the boy's got a lot of potential. I haven't seen a lot of him, as I've said, but the bit that I've seen, he looks impressive. He can ping a pass. That's what I've seen from him. He can ping a pass in behind a defense. As a United fan, honestly, it makes me kind of jealous that the Daily Mail are reporting that Arsenal are interested and they've actually made an offer to Malang Sarr. There's also been rumors of RB Leipzig in Germany as well, with the likes of Upamecano there, Konate there. That's what they do, RB Leipzig. They bring in these young lads and they eventually make a profit out of them. So that would be another good place to go for him as a young player. But Arsenal would be a great move for the youngster to step up from Nice in the French league to a big club in Arsenal. Arsenal are still a big club. Yes, they are struggling in terms of the Premier League. They are a bit mid-table at the moment, but they are still a big club, obviously. So that would be a really good signing. But like I said, I am a bit jealous. I looked at the boy and I thought no disrespect to Lindelof, but he would be perfect next to Harry Maguire. He's free as well, so he doesn't affect the transfers that Manchester United want to make in terms of the likes of Jadon Sancho, the likes of Jack Grealish that Manchester United have been linked to. He's a free transfer. Manchester United need a centre-back. Whether that's to replace Lindelof or to be another option remains to be seen. Just for me, I think he would be brilliant at Manchester United. He doesn't cost anything, Woodward. He's a free transfer. You bring him in. He's 21 years old. It's a big step up for the young player. Bring him in, and Ole can see what he can do with him. I think he would be perfect next to Harry Maguire. We all know Harry Maguire is not the quickest. He's not quick. Malang Sarr is quick. He is quick. He is strong. He's decent in the air. He is an all-round really good centre-back, and I think he would really complement Harry Maguire. And he's a young player as well, so he's also a good one for the future. He's French. We already have French players. He would obviously be attracted to coming to Old Trafford with Paul Pogba at the club. That's massive for young French players. I'm sure, and probably any player in the world playing with Paul Pogba. There's obviously Anthony Martial as well. at the club, another Frenchman. So I think he'd be comfortable at Old Trafford. So I would love him to come to Manchester, the red side of Manchester. But the rumors, it's been reported in the Daily Mail, in the Daily Maverick. I'm not sure it's the Daily Mail, but the Daily Maverick. But anyway, it's been reported that Arsenal have made an offer to the young player. So we will follow what happens there. But I think that would be a really, really good signing for Manchester United. And that would be taking advantage of the transfer window, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said earlier on. And we haven't really seen Manchester United take advantage of the transfer window. We've obviously seen Chelsea do it with Timo Werner. We've seen them do it. Well, not do it, but we've seen the rumors of Kai Havertz, who might be heading to Stamford Bridge with Werner there already, with another German player in Rudiger there already. And we've heard the news today that Kai Havertz does want to leave. His people have told Leverkusen that he does want to leave. So that I think that would be that's Chelsea. That's Chelsea taking advantage of the market, and I think Man United should do the same and just push Arsenal out the way and take advantage of the market. I mean, his wages as well. This is a young 21-year-old coming from Nice. His wages won't be that much as well. If you say, for instance, you sell off Marcos Rojo, you sell off Phil Jones, there's space for Malang Sarr there, and his contract won't be as much as what you'd be paying Marcos Rojo and Phil Jones as well, and you'd get some change back from those salaries, wages. So I think it's a really, really good signing for any team in the Premier League. But the team that have been reported as of yet are Arsenal, and I really, really think Manchester United should be looking into this. Obviously, the news broke last night. I was listening to Mark Goldbridge on the United Stand. The news broke that, well, that's where I first heard the news that Pogba might be signing a new contract. And this is massive news. Obviously, we saw it as well from Fabrizio Romano as well. I mean, we are starting to look like a proper football club, I have to say. We've got a team that's playing well. I think over the years we haven't really known what is Paul Pogba. What do we do with him? Is he the attacking midfielder? Is he the box-to-box midfielder? But now I think he's really finally found his place in the team. With Bruno as the out-and-out attacking midfielder, with Nemanja Matic the out-and-out holding midfielder, and Pogba playing a bit between those two roles in terms of being more box-to-box, but the demand is not as high on him to get the goals and get the assists and then go back and get the tackles and this, you know what I mean. So now he's a bit of the between player in terms of linking the defense to the attack, linking Matic and the likes of Maguire to the likes of Bruno, Rashford, Martial. That's what he does, and I think that role suits him to the T. Paul Pogba. He's looked really good, and I will be massively happy if he does sign that contract, and I'm sure a lot of other United fans will be thrilled to have Paul Pogba signing a new contract. Obviously, we've heard the news of Jadon Sancho as well. Exciting news, man. Exciting news from Manchester United. So yeah, really keen to see what happens with Sancho. I hope we bring him in. Would be a really, really good signing for the club. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens there as well. In terms of today's game against Villa, obviously, it's going to be a tight game, I think. A lot of people, I'm sure, are expecting a walk in the park against Aston Villa. But I've watched a few of their games since we've returned from lockdown, and I have to say they've looked really, really good. Not going forward, they haven't looked that good going forward, but I think that's down to the fact that they've looked a lot better defensively than they were before lockdown. They looked really good before lockdown in terms of going forward, but now after lockdown they're looking a lot better defensively, and I think that's because of what they've done. I think they've tweaked a bit in terms of their system. They're a lot more defensive, a lot stronger in defense. Jack Grealish, as we saw in the last game, playing in that attacking midfield position, not off the left as well. So I think they look a lot better defensively. They're not looking as good going forward, but of course as Ole did say in his press conference, they are good on the counter. And with players like Jack Grealish, you can always expect some sort of threat. So yeah, that's going to be a good game. But I am expecting United to win that game. I don't think it's going to be easy. In terms of they'll be strong defensively, but I think we just need to break them down slowly, remain patient, get Luke Shaw, get Wan-Bissaka high up the pitch as they've been since we've returned. Pogba pulling the strings alongside Matic. Bruno Fernandes will definitely make things happen in the final third. And I'm hoping for a Tony Martial goal as well, because he's looked really good. And in games like this, more than Anthony Martial and Bruno Fernandes, I look to Mason Greenwood, because I think he's just got that X factor in terms of when things aren't happening, when we're slowly trying to open them, slowly trying to get past them, a defensive team. He just has that X factor, as we saw against Bournemouth as well, where he can just explode. He can just explode and just do something special. In terms of finding the back of the net, finding the top corner, top bins, bottom corner, and that's what I think. I think that's going to be key. Mason Greenwood, getting him in really good areas. If Villa defend really, we do expect them to defend deep and just be compact. And getting Mason Greenwood a chance at goal is vital in situations such as that. Obviously, we also know Anthony Martial is very clinical. So yeah, looking forward to tonight's game. I don't expect any changes from Ole. Keep the same team, no changes. Keep it as is. Maguire and Lindelof at centre back, Luke Shaw at left back, Wan-Bissaka right back, Matic and Pogba in midfield, Bruno attacking midfield, Rashford down the left, Tony Martial leading the line, Mason Greenwood off the left as well. Just keep it as is, Ole. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've got Dan James on the bench as well. We've got Juan Mata can come off the bench. I know he's slowed down, but in a game like this, he's the kind of player you can bring on if we're struggling to break Aston Villa down. So I think having those type of players on the bench is good as well. So yeah, anyway, this is your first video of Football Files. Like I said, this is your boy Prof. I'm hoping to do a lot of these. So yeah, good news for Manchester United. Malang Sarr, Arsenal are after him. Paul Pogba, rumours of signing a new contract. Jadon Sancho, obviously the sporting director at Dortmund, coming out and saying that if Jadon Sancho does leave, they are already looking at replacements. So that's good news as well, because it tells you that they don't think they can keep him. So that's really good news for Manchester United as well. So yeah, anyway, see you when I see you.